Is he or she hot and cold with you? Up one day, down the next. Swing your partner round and round, do-si-do, hee-haw. Very wishy-washy, driving you up the wall and then back down the wall. Do they have you on a tilt-a-whirl, swinging you back and forth, up and down like a seesaw, merry-go-round, back at square one, a circus ole, topsy-turvy, driving you crazy, ripping your heart out? Have they ever taken your head clean off your body? Have you ever had a narcissist to be Jekyll and Hyde with you? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and a narcissist is definitely that. A narcissist is a personal flip-flop. If you can relate to anything that I've said, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to my channel. And let's talk about how the narcissist will take you to and from and all over the place. I can remember quite vividly the narcissist being extremely mean to me one minute, and the next minute being the perfect gentleman. One minute we would be out having a really romantic kind of dinner, and then when we got in the car, he would take my head completely off, and sometimes if you're not careful, take your wig off too. A narcissist is a real piece of work. You will never know when they will take their frustrations out on you, when they will decide to make you a personal punching bag, what bag they're going to come out of. You just never really know. If you are new to the channel, I want to take the time to say hello and welcome over. Hello to all of the chosen ones, divine ones, light workers, children of peace, children of love, kind-hearted souls, shy, quiet, introverted souls. Hello and welcome over. A narcissist will drive you slap crazy if you let them. If you let their craziness spill over onto you, they can drive you crazy. In fact, that's their goal. They want to drive you completely insane. Insanity is their peace. They thrive on chaos. There is no method to the narcissist madness. You can't really figure out their tick schedule. You don't know when they're going to go topsy-turvy on you. You have no idea when they're going to flip back and forth between Jekyll and Hyde. It's pretty much like being on a roller coaster. You can't really predict all the time the highs and the lows. They just are what they are. You don't know what the peaks and valleys are all the time. It can be a very frustrating ride. It can be a mentally taxing ride. It can really take a toll on your body, your mind, and your soul. It can really rip your heart out and tear it into pieces. It's a very tough thing to try to figure out. There is no amount of right things that you can do to stop it. There's no amount of you walking on eggshells that is going to prevent anything. You have no idea what's going to wake the sleeping giant, and you have no idea what's going to upset the jolly green giant. Do you know what it's like to have your own spouse make you think that you're going to have a nice romantic evening? They're going to be gentle and kind to you. They're going to be tender. And then they turn the night into a unimaginable punishment. It's a punishment session and a punishment party that you had no idea that you were being invited to. A complete torture. A real live nightmare with the person that you love, but they don't love you back. They spent a lot of time trying to train you and make you think that they love you, but they don't. Do not confuse a man raising his voice at you with his ego, with the intensity of a serious minded man. They're two different things. One man will raise his voice, act out of character, yell at you because of his immaturity and because of his ego. But a man that has a point to get across to you, or that wants to show you that he's serious or he's stern, may use some intensity. But there is a big difference between a man who yells at you with sassiness versus a man that grabs your attention with the authority in his voice. There is a major difference. It is extremely frustrating to deal with all of the hard things on your job, all of the things in the world, and come home and deal with just as much chaos and havoc, if not more, in your own home. Being with a person that is constantly hot and cold towards you makes you constantly question yourself. You try to figure out what's wrong with you, what can you do better, and the answer is nothing. It's not you. It's that other person that can't regulate their own emotions and they want you to do it for them. And you will fail at it every single time because that is not your job. Can you help people with things? Can you help to heal people? Yes, if they're willing to accept your help. But you cannot actually do it for them. You cannot actually process their emotions for them. They have to be mature enough and willing enough to do that on their own. When you're dealing with this type of person, you have to realize that they are the child that never grew up. They are the child that didn't really learn how to function as they should. They are emotionally stunted. And there's no amount of growing them up that you can do for them. They have to do that on their own. You will find yourself caught in a whirlwind of temper tantrums thrown by the narcissist, meltdowns, and you will just basically just have to take shelter because it will be a complete storm. It's very hard to face the fact that you are completely invisible to the person that is right in front of you. They will not see your emotions, and if they do see them, they don't care enough about them to nurture them. They don't care enough about you to take care of you emotionally. It is not your fault that the person can't see you. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is up to them to see you. Just because they don't see you doesn't mean you don't exist. Just because they refuse to acknowledge any of your good qualities and characteristics doesn't mean that they're not there. At no point in your marriage or your relationship should you have to beg anyone to see you. It's either they see you or they don't. It is a choice. And if they fail to see you, if they really can't see you, there shouldn't be any problem for you to remove yourself. They can't see you anyway. It shouldn't bother them at all if you were to leave because they didn't see you. If they never saw you, then you were never there. There's nothing more painful than being ignored by the person that you absolutely adore. Nothing more painful than being mistreated or dogged out by the person that you think the world of. Someone being hot and cold with you over and over keeps your mind in a state of confusion. You never have clarity. You never have a good grasp on what is true, what is right, what is correct. You will always be in some type of what if scenario. You will always be trying to figure out the answer to some problem. Nothing will be clear. We cannot allow the narcissist to play with our emotions over and over again. One minute they want to hit you in the head or slap you, and then turn around and ask for a kiss. One minute they want to cuss you out and then say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then ask you for a hug. You don't deserve that kind of mistreatment. You deserve a love that is true and consistent. You don't deserve to be pouring out your heart to someone who refuses to respond to your phone calls or your text messages. You have so much love inside of you to give that you can't afford to waste it, if you will, on a person that will never see how valuable it is, how much is something that shouldn't be wasted, something that shouldn't be taken for granted. You can't afford to wait for the narcissist to see you. It'll never happen. You deserve to be with someone who will see you right away, recognize you right away, that will honor you right away, respect you right away, love you right away with no delay. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Now, I mentioned earlier that narcissists are very much like children, and narcissists are tossed to and fro. Hence the Jekyll and Hyde. Hence one day up, one day down. Hence one day nice to you and one day mean to you. They're just tossed all around, tossed about. They try to do the same thing to you. And they're just very, very unstable. They're not grounded. They don't really have their heads on straight. And if you're not careful, all of that will trickle down to you. You can't be exposed to that kind of behavior for a prolonged period of time. You have to resist the enemy and get close to God. Matthew chapter 16, starting at verse number 13. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" And they said, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremias, or one of the prophets." He said unto them, But whom ye say that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier about, beauty being in the eye of the beholder, a good thing being in the eye of the beholder. Some people will be able to look at you and see a good thing, and others will just pass it by without being able to recognize it. It's up to the individual to see what's really there. And just because someone cannot see your worth and your value doesn't mean that you don't have any. The person has to be discerning enough to be able to see who you are, to see your true worth, your true value, what you have to offer. They have to be of a certain mindset. They have to be able to allow the Spirit of God to reveal to them who you are. Not everybody is going to be able to really see you. The people that should be in your life, they will see you. And the people that are not meant to be in your life will pass you by. They will overlook you. They will look past you. They will look behind you. They will look through you. Pay attention to the people that can actually see you, recognize you, and have the capacity to claim you. You are me, and I am you. Take the time to be my neighbor by subscribing to my channel. And let's have daily talks about our journey to get closer to the Lord Jesus Christ and all of the pain and hardships that we have had to endure along the way. So chosen ones, know that the light is neither hot nor cold. The light is just right. The light will not bring you toxic energy, and the light will not freeze you out by ignoring you. The light will always shine on you. The light will always wrap you in love, and it will always be constant, never changing.